it's me, Shelby. As promised, I have my dad here to help with our Self-Defense 101 video. He does have a background as an Army Ranger and a 35-year background studying self-defense and martial arts. So I figured he would be the perfect person to help us. Growing up, he was the one that taught me all of my moves and got me into karate. I think it's great for building confidence and learning how to set boundaries and protect your space. Without any further ado, this is my papa, and he will help us with the basics. Dad, take it away.
Sure. Yeah, years ago we decided that martial arts is not for everybody, so we needed to distill out maybe an hour's worth of self-defense techniques that we could teach people very quickly and that they could retain and keep with them as they went through life. So to begin with, we break down self-defense into ABCD. A, awareness and avoidance, of course. An ounce of prevention goes a long way when it comes to self-defense. B, learn how to block. C, counterattack. And D, disengage, which if you can disengage right away, you should do that. But remember, awareness and avoidance is probably the best way to keep out of trouble.
Awesome. And can we go over any basic, drills? Or
yeah, we can go over some techniques, but let's talk about avoidance real quick. What areas do you think you would avoid as a young lady?
Dark areas.
Dark areas.
Alleyways.
For sure.
Parking lots are sketchy.
Yeah, parking lots can be quite dangerous, especially if you park next to a van. You want to be very careful. Some people suggest get in from the other side because someone can pop open that van door real quick, snatch you, throw you in, and no one will ever see you again. So you want to just make sure, and you'll feel the hackles, when you're in a dangerous position, and you should become aware and make sure that you do what you need to do to avoid any unnecessary danger. So that's avoidance, awareness. Blocking, so the first thing we do on blocking is we teach people to put their hands up. And the thing about putting your hands up is this is the universal sign for surrender, right? It also shows that I have no weapons. But most importantly, it gets your hands in front of your face so that you can quickly defend your central processing unit. If someone gets hit in the head, it's all out from there. It's all over. If they smash your foot or break a rib, you still fight, you still live, but if they get your head and you go out, then you're done. So we say put your hands up, protect your head, and we have a little technique we call swatting the fly. Can you swat the fly? Yeah?
Oh, get it.
So you just swat the fly, and even if you don't stop the punch completely, you might deflect it enough so that it doesn't take you out.
Awesome.
That's blocking. It's that simple. Next would be to counterattack. Because if you're being assaulted and all you do is block and try to turn and run, chances are you'll get caught. Also, chances are they will grab you. So you got to learn how to break out of that somehow. And we have a few techniques for that. Simple ones that you can learn at home. Actually, things you already do at home. So let's start with the first one. You've got your hands up already. Have any of you pushed open a door lately? Poof! All right, give me a push open the door. Oh, yeah! Especially if you get them in the ribs, or if you get them in the throat, or even if you get them in the nose. All you're doing is pushing open the door. What do you think would be next? Ooh, that's a good one. Starting a lawnmower. So if you've tried to run and somebody catches you from behind, remember, you just start your lawnmower. Woof. Very powerful. Elbows are very damaging to people, especially if you hit bones. We have another one that's in the kitchen, right? You pull the cookie sheet out of the oven, and what do? You close the oven door. So we have close the oven, bam. Close the oven, bam. Next, we have crush the can. And that is something we've all done. We've all put our aluminum cans down on the ground and we crushed them. And you can do that on somebody's instep right here, and I guarantee you they won't be able to chase you very far. Okay, and so Swat the fly, start the lawnmower, push open the door, shut the oven, and crush the can. That's all you need to know. Those techniques there should be able to get you out of most circumstances. The last is disengage. What you want to do is get out of there. And you want to get out of there first if you can, but if you can't, that's when you do the blocking and the countering so that you can disengage. Would you like to practice some of those a little bit? All right, swat the fly, swat the fly. Okay, now I'm going to come after you and you're going to close the oven door. Whoa, yeah. Okay, now I'm getting you from behind. What do? Start the lawnmower for sure. What did we miss? Crush the can. And you can do that from the front, yep, or from the rear. If I'm grabbing you here, just crush that can. Oh, that would hurt so bad. So keep in mind that if you do not get away from your opponent, your chances of survival drop drastically. It's statistically a 2% chance of finding someone once they've been abducted, finding them alive, excuse me. So 98% of all abductees end up dead. So it's important that you fight back. Always fight back. Never give up, because if they're going to abduct you, they're probably going to kill you. And if they're going to rough you up, they probably don't want a witness. So they're likely to take you out. The most important thing is always fight back.
Basics. What about soft spots that we should be aiming for?
Yeah, there are generally 5 target areas we talk about soft spots. The groin, the solar plexus, which can knock the wind out of you, and then we have this little band here that contains 3 strike zones: the throat, the nose, and the eyes. If you were to strike somebody in the nose, eyes, or throat, chances are they are going to be weakened significantly. If you get a good shot in their solar plexus, they'll probably double over and lose their wind. And of course, if you hit them in the groin, male or female, it's going to hurt like crazy, and that gives you an opportunity to escape.
Awesome. I know when I was younger, you would always tell me my little hands could cause more damage than I think they could.
Very good.
So if they're, aimed in the right places, size doesn't matter, right?
Well, actually, the smaller hand penetrates much more and would hurt a lot more. But at your size, you can't generate as much power. But think about it this way. Would you rather be hit by a ping pong paddle at 50 miles an hour or an ice pick at 2? Your hands are like little ice picks.
It's a nice, confident way to look at them. Get you with my ice picks.
Yeah.
Awesome. I loved all that. Do you think you have anything else? Just basic, quick tip.
Well, I think that the most important thing is avoid and be aware of what you're doing, because if you can prevent walking down that path, then you won't need the rest of this stuff. But should you need the rest of this stuff, just remember, you don't have to get complicated with fancy techniques that these martial artists like to practice. You just need to defend yourself and get out of there. The most important objective is for you to survive. And you don't need to beat someone up to do that. If you can run, run. If you need to scream and call for help, do that. If you've got the alarm on your car, set that off. I will say that, there's this thing floating around, maybe it's the internet, I'm not sure, but they say, get your car keys and put them in your fingers like that so they all stick out. That way when you hit someone, it really hurts. But it will really, really hurt you much more than them, because your hands will all be cut up. If you have keys, probably the best thing to do with them is throw them in their face so they flinch, which gives you the time to bolt. Any distraction. If you had some sand in your hand, that would help. If you have a purse, swing it and run. You want to distract your attacker temporarily so that you have an opportunity to escape, because escape is the primary objective.
Yeah, it's not about fighting, it's about
right.
Protecting your space.
Do not fight if you don't have to, but always fight if you're threatened and you have no way out. Because if you just give up, your chances of survival diminish significantly.
Right. It's good to know. And you would always tell me if you ever felt threatened, turn around, look them in the eye, look at these predators, and let them know that you are willing to stand their ground, because they're not looking for somebody willing to stand their ground. They're looking for an easy catch.
That's right. Predators always go after the weak and the sick in the wild, and actually they do that in life too. You hear about all these serial killers. They didn't beat up some stud from the gym. No, they look for the sick and the weak. And so the more confidence you have, and the more you're willing to stand your ground, the safer you are. Predators don't go after that. And you bring up a very good point. If I'm being followed, the best thing for me to do is pretend that I've forgotten something at the office, turn around, change direction, and as I do, I catch a glimpse of your face, and automatically you put the predator down. He's going to look for someone else.
Yeah, and you even said, big thing, you feel threatened, back off!
That's right. Yeah,
let them know. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So you've got your hands up like this, and you don't just stand there and say, hey, please leave me alone. You give them the old evil eye, and you say, back off! Right? And not only does that cause everybody around to look, it startles your opponent, or your predator, and will tell them that you're serious and prepared to defend yourself. And if someone is prepared to defend themselves, most predators will move on to the next victim. So don't make yourself a victim. Make yourself a non-victim.
Right.
Get some eye contact going with a bad guy.
Name the things they're wearing. I see you in your green shirt with
Back
your tattoo
off.
on your face.
That's right.
Short hair man. I mean, no insults, but I see what you look like. Yeah, that's all good stuff. And I think, besides like grabs and things like that, that's pretty much what you would want to know. Self-defense 101.
That's right. Yeah, if someone has grabbed you, you've failed pretty miserably on awareness. Because in order to get that close to you, they have to penetrate what we call the hot zone. And the hot zone is where a person gets close enough that they can actually hit you. And let me just ask, would you allow a big bad stranger to get this close to you? No, automatically back off. And what you can do with your hands up is you can tap, push, and say, back off, right? So what I've done is I've not only pushed you back, I've stepped back, and now we have space between us. And if you violate that space again, that's considered assault. I feel threatened. Assault is any time I feel threatened. And if you threaten me, that's an assault. Doesn't matter if you use your words or if you use your body language. So, back off, and that gives you a chance to turn and run if you can make it. You only need a 6-foot head start on a predator if you're in fear, because the adrenaline will pump into your body and you will run as fast as your fastest race. That's right.
Fight or flight. That's
That's
right.
right.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. But just for giggles, how would you get out of a wrist grab?
Oh yeah. Well, what's the weakest part of the hand?
Pinky.
What's the weakest part of this grip?
Your pinky?
Ooh, I've got 3 other fingers supporting my pinky. What's the weakest part there?
Oh, I guess you're right. The thumb.
The thumb, yeah. And so what you want to do is roll against the thumb. Yeah. It's even a man of my strength. Oh, a nice one. Yeah, especially if someone's grabbing you twice. Boom. You just got 2 thumbs as opposed to 8 fingers. So yeah, always go against the thumb. And if you can't get that thumb, the guy's just too strong, you can always smack that thumb. Break the thumb, or just peel it off your own arm. So that gets you loose. That's a very good one. What's another common grab, do you think? Most common? Bear hug. Yeah, that's a tough one. If you're a young woman in a bear hug, how do you think you'd get out of that? Oh, crush the can, for sure. Start the lawnmower. So you don't need all this stuff. But let me just show you a quick one. If you've got your hands up and someone's going to grab you, go ahead and grab. Well, I would probably grab like that.
Well, I'm not a
I can just turn and I can get away. Same with the back. So if you grab me from behind, I get those hands up and I turn, I can knock her hands. Because my body, your body, is stronger than my arms. If you use your whole body weight to get out of this, boom. Well, that's another way. Yeah, come over the top of the arms. Boom. Get the hands up like this. And as you turn, you will knock my arms off your body. Yeah, very good. And that works for front and back.
What about a choke?
Oh, yeah. But if someone gets this on you, you're just about out because you can pass out so quickly. So what you've done is you've grabbed my arm to prevent the choke. Now, I can choke and you don't even feel it because I'm not getting to your throat. Now, from there, all you've done is you've stopped the attack. Now you need to take care of business. That's right. Start your lawnmower, crush your can, push open the door, run away.
Feels good to know that I can protect myself.
It doesn't take much. You just have to have a little bit of knowledge, and you have to have a whole lot of will. If you give up, your chances of survival are so small.
I think those are all great gems. Thank you.
My pleasure.
I think that's a good start. Self-defense 102 might come. That's a good 101. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, follow. I have lots more videos to come, lots more love to give. Stay tuned.
Bye.